Hey guys, welcome back to another video on the Inside Spurs channel. Happy Monday morning. I hope we're all okay. Hope we're all right. I hope the weekend was decent. Obviously, Spurs didn't play, so they can't ruin it for you. At least that's something you can take out of the weekend, be it good, bad, or ugly. But in this video, you can tell by the thumbnail, you can tell by the caption of the video, we're talking about Heung-min Son. We're talking about the contract situation that he finds himself in. We're going to be talking about next moves, the situation. I want to talk a little bit about, the actual situation, because I think some people are saying that, we shouldn't give him one, but also just sort of some people saying we should be. So just want to sort of jump into it, kind of discuss through everything about it. And just kind of get your feelings. And, I might change some opinions for good, bad, or the ugly. Sorry, I'm just having to fix my YouTube title because I forgot something to put into it. So we'll do that. Just want to say that if you're watching this, subscribe. You're very much welcome to join us for the journey. And obviously, yes, it is technically North London Derby week. We're a good few days away still, but it is this week. So a little something out of that. Morning, Spurs, mate. How are we? Must extend Tottenham. Okay, we'll talk about it. Morning, Oscar. Morning, Sonia. How are we all? Yes. So what we will do as well this week, obviously with the North London Derby, because obviously, home or away fixture wise, it's, two of the bigger games of our season. We'll do a little, I guess you could call it preview to the preview. We'll do a little chat about the game, kind of get some general feeling, probably do it like Wednesday time. And then obviously, I think we play Sunday, so Saturday we'll do the actual preview. So we'll come to that when we get to it. All right. Keeps on to the tires. Well, let's see about that, because Son's new deal. So obviously, look, if you're not really aware about Son's situation, Spurs have had some conversations with Sonny surrounding a new deal, but those bits of news have kind of gone completely under the radar and sort of kind of just gone quiet, really. And look, it's somewhat divisive, because you've got some people that think he isn't an angeable player. You've got some people going, he's our only good attacker. You got all sorts of divisive opinions in this situation. The matter of fact is, he's got 1 year left. He expires in summer of 2025, but he has the option to extend for an extra year, which Spurs will pick up. 100% Spurs will pick up. Just going into his contract, he's obviously he's on the max money, not max money. He's on the most money out of all the Spurs players, at about 190 grand a week, and it's good money. It's money that Spurs don't normally play, if I'm honest. That we struggled to even get Harry Kane up to about 200 grand a week, and he'd been here for 1,000 years. But look, his contract expires summer 2025. So you have to take that into account when you come into this, because I guess Spurs want to make some money out of this. I think that's pretty fair to say. More than that, good weekend. It was a great weekend, Luke. How was yours, mate? The Patriots beat the Bengals. No one expected that, and I'm going to take that as a win. I think Son's profile doesn't suit the system as well as someone else, but he has so much quality. He's a brilliant anyway, and a player like him can make it work. Yeah, don't be wrong. I actually think like younger Heung-min Son would have suited this system brilliantly. But as he's got a bit older and a bit more refined, maybe not as much. But when you talk of like the talent that we have in the attack, we are severely lacking. He is one of those that we aren't lacking through. People might talk about, he's miscontrolled this, miscontrolled that. But, when Son's at it, we're at it. That's the way I always look at Sonny's situation. And like, 1 year left on his deal, option to extend, Spurs will absolutely trigger that option. Now, I think he will get a new deal. Now, I think obviously Sonny being, let me just get up his age. I just want to make sure I get this right. Sonny being 32, not long-term 32, but Sonny being 32, he's probably going to want like a 3 or 4 year deal if he can. Like, he wants a longer-term deal. Spurs aren't going to do that. They're not. They'll probably do like a 2-year extension. And, we do have to be somewhat honest with ourselves and say, is this Sonny's last year? Well, it's it doesn't mean I think it. I just mean it's important to have that conversation. Is this Sonny's last year? Does Spurs give him a 3-year deal? And they go, well, we got this year. Let's see how we go next year. Because I think this year you're not going to see a drop off in Sonny's performance. I still think you're going to get a good Sonny this year. Have him next year and then reevaluate. And I think that's the way I would go about it. 3-year deal. Got this year, obviously, included. Next year, see how you go. Then you may look to move on. That's how I genuinely feel about the situation. Doesn't mean it's the right way to go. Doesn't mean, you should think that. I just think that's how I would go about it. Cricket wasn't good. Hate to see it, mate. Hate to see it. Coming to the end of the season, though, for the counties, aren't you? Our biggest problem is finishing chances, and he's our best finisher, so he is key. Well, look, I mean, he is. Yeah. Sorry. If we want a cup, it might make it easier to let him go. Potentially Bazza. How are you, mate? Imagine we never let Modric and Bale go. Imagine 2016, that Premier League would have been ours. Yeah. I mean, we let Modric go in 2012? Bale went in 2013. No way we were holding on to those two for that long. It's a difficult one regarding Sonny. He says that he won't get married until he stops playing football. Bonkers, isn't it? Bonkers. It's. I mean, look. He's dedicated to football, if I could be as dedicated to something as much as Sonny is to football, it'd be brilliant. I'm not even dedicated to YouTube, or I'm not even dedicated to the gym as much, and I go nearly every day, Also, don't go every day. It's not healthy for you. I'm looking at you through the camera. You know who I'm talking to. Love your channel, so balanced and refreshing change. Thanks. Well, guess a song and artist. Thanks very much, mate. Thanks very much. When he slowed down more, I would still keep him around as a rotational player and a mentor for the likes of Moore, assuming Son is willing to take that role. That's the hard part. With top quality talents like that, do they accept that relegated role? Maybe just 2 more years. Did you catch the Sweden-Estonia game last night? I didn't catch it, Percy Liston. I was watching the NFL. It's the first it's the first Sunday of the season. And I watched 6 hours of American football yesterday. And I wasn't bored once. I loved it. And the Patriots won. Happy days. You just can't complain about it. So when we talk about Sonny, I want to talk about the last 3 years. So including last season, the season before, and the season before that. So we're going to start with 3 seasons ago in the 21-22 season. I mean, you can see on the ticker below, 23 goals, 7 assists, 30 goal contributions in that time. He was obviously Golden Boot that season. And, he actually, in my opinion, won the Golden Boot because he didn't take any penalties and Salah did. So he actually scored the most outfield goals that season. And look, he was brilliant that season. Obviously, Kane was a guy that obviously, he had the most assists that season. Sam Howell didn't win player of the season with the most goals and assists. Ruben Dias won it, which forever is an absolute travesty, especially when you fast forward now and how Ruben Dias is a player now. I mean, 30 goal contributions in 35 appearances is brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. From a left winger, by the way. That's from a left winger. That's fantastic. In the Premier League, that is absolutely fantastic. And he was fantastic that year. He was a pivotal part under the Conte good 6 months of that season. And obviously then, Kulusevski comes in there, and obviously Kane, they start playing a different brand of football, terrorist football. And, we obviously got into the Champions League from that regards. We'll move into the season where you maybe could sit there and say he struggled. Hey, Van Goff, mate, how long American football games? About 3 hours in total. Ish. Don't hold me to that exactly, but stoppages, halftime performances, all sorts that go into it. Do you retire Son and make him in and around the team as assistant attacking manager? No, I don't think Sonny would be a coach. I think Sonny would be an ambassador for the club. Absolutely ambassador for the club. Spurs will be all over that. Morning, hope you had a great weekend. I did, Ivan. How are you, mate? Burval looked so active when he came on. Shame that he did not play longer. Still young, mate. Still young. Only just joined up with the international senior squad, so still young. Yeah, anyway, like you see on the ticker down below, in the 2022-23 season, where obviously Spurs for 6 months were good and then fell apart, really from the winter onwards. 10 goals, 6 assists in that spell. Now, obviously, Sonny was dealing with a lot of injuries in that season. I mean, this is over 36 games. So, you go from the season before where he played one less game, had 30 goal contributions, to this season having nearly half the goal contributions. Obviously, they were talking about how he was dealing with a hernia of sorts. He was dealing with all sorts of issues. And, it doesn't help when the team's falling apart. Conte's falling apart, losing coaches to even death, and things like that. It was one of the seasons, I think it was surprising that we were doing so well for so long, but I kind of always thought it was doomed to fail. Just for everything that was going on, Conte getting ill, needing surgery, Sonny not being 100% fit, coach's situation, all the deaths that the Spurs, I guess you could call it, family went through. I'm surprised I'm surprised we stuck in it for so long. Now, obviously, once Bentancur got injured and we absolutely completely fell apart, the season was virtually a write-off. They'll want Son until, well, yeah, true, till Yang's here. So look, in that season, not very good. Now, last season, under one Ange Postecoglou, last season we saw more of the Sonny that we remember. 17 goals, 10 assists in 35 appearances, 27 goal contributions in, playing as a striker, not his natural position, which I think all in all is very impressive. And to do it so late into your career as well, 27 goal contributions, that's not bad. You scored in one every two, and then you add in the 10 assists on top. That's not bad whatsoever. And I think a lot of fans, I guess, maybe hold Sonny to a higher standard than some other players, but 27 goal contributions is only 3 less than his potentially best ever season. I know he had 6 less goals, but he had 3 more assists. So he was probably even more of an all-round player. Obviously, there was a penalty that he scored in that time. Obviously Spurs never getting a penalty somehow. Don't know why. But I think going forwards, you always look at extending a player's contract with the idea of what they're going to give you from within that contract. So what I mean by that is look, we think Sonny for 3 more years is going to be really good. Then you go for a 3-year extension. If you think he's got 1 more year left in us and then we think he's going to fall off a cliff, we don't think we don't want to give him a 3-year deal. Might give him a 2-year deal. You might just extend him for the extra year. That's the way. I mean, that's how American sports are really, not baseball. Baseball's rubbish for it, but American football's a bit better, where they see the production that you've given. The contract isn't based on the contract isn't based on the production that you have given in that time. The contract is actually for what they think they're going to get from you in those years that they give you. So if you're given a 4-year deal, they're expecting 4 years of production. You see what I mean? So, as much as we sit there and I, just went through those stats of 3 years where Sonny's had 2 really great years, one somewhat down year, which is, by the way, that down year is still better than a lot of other wingers in the Premier League. But, people don't want to hear that. With this, you might sit there and go, we think Sonny gives us 2 years of brilliance. Then you extend him because he's going to give you 2 years of brilliance. You can't replace him. If you sell him for 50 million, you're not going to replace him. Simple as that. I mean, 27 goal contributions to the league last year. You're not replacing that for 50 million. Not a chance. Will you not sell Son and reinvest and then bring him back as ambassador? Well, I think he'll be brought back as an ambassador, but it really, for me, is if you're selling him to reinvest, what is the fee that you're getting? Because if you're going to receive 40 million, then I'm not interested. Just hold on to him. Because I think he's going to give you more in terms of what revenue you'll get from how you finish in the leagues and things like that with him than without him. People talk about, if you were to get Champions League football last year with Harry Kane and he then left on a free, the money that Champions League gives you, that's more than what you would have earned over the Kane deal on that 1 year. It's more than you'd have earned. So Basuma and Sarr can't be starting midfielders. Basuma shouldn't even be a midfielder in the first place. Then where else can he play? Yeah, I'm just going to agree with Van Gogh. If Basuma's not a central midfielder, then where else is he playing? He's playing in goal. Vicaro's starting position's in trouble. He's playing in goal. So look, with Sonny's new deal, if I was to sum it up, yes, for me, he gets an extension. Obviously, I know he's got that option in his deal for an extra year. For me, don't do the option. Don't do the option. Give him an actual new deal. Give him a pay bump as well. He's on 190. You could definitely get him to like 225, right? Give him a pay bump, 2-year deal. So he's got this season and another 2 years. It's worth it. It is absolutely worth it. And, next summer, when I'm just hypothetically talking about next summer. I'm not talking about it. I'm not being serious about it right now, but next summer, where the situation is Spurs actually have obviously got Slanky, they've got Sonny, Mikey Moore is every year developing, Odebear every year developing. You've still got, your Kulusevskis, let's see what Brennan Johnson gives us. He's still young. I still think there's ability there. Then you can start to say, well, we don't need to rely on Sonny as much. We've got all these guys starting to come through and really show out and show up. Then we sprinkle in Sonny. Then you go, well, if Sonny gives us 20 goal contributions a season, let's say he gives us 13 goals, 7 assists from the left wing position. On the right wing, let's say you get something similar, and up front, you've got a guy who's going to give you 25. For me, that's not bad. It's about the system sometimes, not always about the goal scorer. But what do you guys think? Do you go 2-year extension, 3-year extension? Do you just take the option? Do you sell him in the summer if you take up the option? What do you guys think? Because I think he's still good enough. He's still good enough on what we've seen. I mean, 2 goals a season. One of which was obviously just pressing of the goalkeeper and taking off Pickford. But really, when you think about it this season, had things swung another way, he probably would have got an extra 1 or 2, Absolutely give Sonny 2 years with 1-year extension. I don't mind that. Chaotic. I don't mind that. Again, it's, I guess with that thinking, you're thinking obviously he's going to give us at least 2 years of quality. You pick up the extension. Do you look to cash in? Andy, I know it's off topic. I'm interested in numismatics, and I want to get my hands on them Ulster Bank Northern Ireland polymer notes. As a local to UK, I guess, how easy or hard is it to obtain them? You can order them, no doubt. It's like ordering currency. You can do that. This is a defender, absolutely not. What if Saudi comes in with 80, 100 million because of his commercial value? Well, that's a different story. If they're coming in with 100 million, then yeah, you have that conversation. You'd have that conversation, Jazz. But again, it's that thing: is he still quality? Can he get you Champions League football? Will the Saudi interest? I don't think he'll ever go to Saudi, but let's say it was Saudi. Let's say he did want to go, because I don't think he does. But let's say if he did want to go, how long would their interest last? Because Richarlison's lasted over a year now. And I still think they'll come back in for a Richarlison in January. And I think they'll come back in for a Richarlison in the summer if we don't sell in January, which I don't think we will sell in January. I don't think that would be the right time to do it. But yeah, I think, for me, that's how good. I love Sonny, but who doesn't? But he's clearly past his best now, especially as a left winger. If we can get 60 million for him, it's well worth it, but he must be replaced. Give him a 2 extensions, sell summer. 27 goal contributions and past it. Woo! Matthew, that's brave. That means Rashford was never really good enough. It means Sterling's past it. Sancho's never good enough. Martinelli's not good enough. I mean, however many Saka probably got about 27. I'm almost saying it's brave to say that. It's brave to say that he's past it. I don't think Son will sell. No, I don't think Son will go to Saudi. They say it's pretty rare. I don't want to spend £20 on a £5 note. Well, mate, if they're rare, that's how it works with currencies. If they're rare, then it's obviously going to cost a bit more than what they're actually worth. 27 goals and assists is hard to replace for 56 million. Mate, so hard. So hard. I mean, we signed Dominic Solanke, who had less than that for 60 odd million. Ivan Toney got 4 goals? He was 40 odd million. Just trying to think of who else. I mean, Brennan Johnson was 40 odd million and got 15. So you know what I mean? It's so difficult. So difficult. I mean, people will go, well, look at Cole Palmer. It's like, yeah, well, there was about 1 million penalties in that, to be fair. I would say Liverpool, I wouldn't use Liverpool and Salah as a fair excuse. 1, he takes penalties. 2, he was signed so long ago. Luis Diaz, 40 odd million. not giving you tons of goals and assists. He gives you a good player. I like Luis Diaz. I'm not saying he's not, but he's not giving you what Sonny gives. And, 27 goals, assists. How many were penalties? 1, maybe 2. I think it's 1, isn't it? So for me, it's so difficult to get, let's call it just 25 goals and assists a season from 40, 50 million. I think if Spurs would sell, I think Spurs are going to want about 100 million because they'll look at it and go, well, we sold Harry Kane. Yes, he is homegrown and yes, he's English. So we'll always throw on the English tax. He had 1 year left on his deal. Yes, he's 29 going into 30, but I think, the way I look at Harry, obviously Harry, brilliant, number 9, best number 9 in the world, in my opinion. Fine. Sonny gives you 27 goals and assists from striker last season. You could easily get, if Tony's gone 40 with 4 goals, Solanke got 19 goals, 2 more than Sonny, younger, yes, homegrown. Oh, these things to play in, but when you sell abroad, that doesn't matter. Homegrown does not matter when you sell abroad. Sonny then obviously had way more assists. He's got bigger goals and assists than a Richarlison, than a Højlund. Obviously, Højlund's quite a lot younger. Xerxes, Rashford's. Mudryk's 100 million. I still can't believe that Mudryk is 100 million. That is crazy. And Nkunku's a good 60 odd million. Arsenal spent how much on Havertz? You see what I mean? Man City spent 100 million on Jack Grealish. And I like a lot of these players that I've mentioned. But there's no way on earth I'm like Sonny. Sonny's not worth more than that, You should be easy aiming for more than 50, 60. I think they would have known about Saudi interest. I think Ed's Saudi like Sonny, but I just don't think Sonny wants that. If you know what I mean? I think it's a one-way street. I hate that you people don't see that playing Basuma is like we're playing 10 on the pitch. He adds nothing to the attack. Very slow to give passes. Accurate. Oh my God, Andy, don't vex me. He's been one of the better players this season. He's brilliant at Everton. He's been brilliant on international duty. He was actually good against Newcastle. People that say he wasn't, didn't watch the game well enough, but he was good against Newcastle. He's not been the weak point. He's not the reason why we've not won games this season. But bear in mind, he missed the first game because of what happened. So for the Leicester game, it's nothing at fault for the Leicester game in terms of performance because he wasn't there. He did wake up and choose violence. Yeah, absolutely. We need another Mickey Van der Ven really issue is, again, I talked about the centre-half position. Let's be honest. Dragic and Romero are quite quick. They are. But we look at Mickey's pace and think that's now a quick centre-back. The others are all quite slow. Mickey is genuinely a freak of nature. Genuinely a freak of nature. The other two are very athletic, quick centre-backs. I think we could sell Son and replace him with how we have already. What do you mean, Bazza? What do you mean, mate? Having Basuma allows us to play Decky on the midfield. Absolutely. Absolutely. Hey, Donna, how are you? It's not a new hairstyle. I've just not had a haircut. Haircut will probably be next week. But yeah, well, let's see on Sonny, because I think we get news this season on Sonny. Within the next couple of months, I think we get news on Sonny, because I think we definitely need... I definitely think this. Look, I think they'll already in their heads be like, we're taking the option. So he's not going this summer on a free. They'll take up the option, but will they extend? That's just such a good question to have. And that's why I posed it to you guys, because I think it would be absolutely amazing. But yes, heads up. By the way, for the week ahead, obviously tomorrow loan roundup. Tomorrow morning, we're going to talk about all the boys out on loan, the ones that did play. There was some. George Abbott, by the way, absolute stalwart for Notts County, and they bloody love him down. I say down. Technically, they're up. They're in northern than we are. But yeah, they were raving about him. They were saying, "Oh, he's rubbish. Spurs don't want him. We'll have to keep him because you don't like him." Kind of vibe, right? They really like him. So we're talking about the loan roundup tomorrow with mixing in the international boys and how they've done as well. We'll do 2 in 1. Obviously, we'll do a preview on the North London derby being such a big week. We will do probably Wednesday. We'll have a bit of a chat ahead of the weekend's fixtures. We'll obviously then do the preview for the North London derby on the Saturday, maybe Friday, but hopefully Saturday if not. And there's a couple other things I wanted to do on the channel this week to talk about it. It will come to me in a minute. Just hold off. Meant to say, okay, fair enough, Bazza. To clarify, Son is better than anything we have. Plenty even Slanky. I agree he will still score more goals on our front line. The only way Son will go is to Saudi, but Levy won't sell. I don't think Sonny would go to Saudi either. Draghi is more informed compared to Romero. Jazz, I'm going to debunk this. Statistically proven this season, Romero has been the best centre-back in the league. He's playing just under a 7.4. Just to say. Fair enough, Donna. I'd like to see how Sonny performs up to Christmas and then review the situation. Fair enough, Ivan. Selling Son is just way too soon. Dragishin was the best in Romania's overperforming Euro squad. We were there, Bazza. We talked about it on this channel so many times. My dark horse was Romania just because I loved them. I loved the energy. I loved everything they played with. And Dragishin was there as well. And he was a monster. How Solanke faked an injury for this long is shocking. Didn't fake an injury. I feel Son is effective as a number 9 against teams lower half of the table where he'll have more space. As left wing, he cannot really contribute enough. At left wing, I think a lot of people go, can't beat a player. I've literally watched him this season play left wing, skin players still. So trust me, he can still beat players. He can still contribute on the left for sure. And he's better than anything we have winger-wise in both sides of the wingers. He's still better than everything we have by good distance as well. He's still going to be great for us. Solanke's jealous. Richardson's jealous of Solanke. I don't know. We got too many fake accounts in here. Not fake in terms of people, but just, different names of the channels. So yes, lots of stuff coming on the channel this week. Obviously, memberships are now up and live on the channel. If you do want one, do go in and have a look. We're going to be adding some new cool stuff and members only on the channel. This stuff won't change. Member stuff is added stuff if you want it. Twitch streams up this week. I will let you know when we're going to be Twitch streaming. We're going to be playing some games, and then I will edit it and pull it over to the YouTube second channel. Description down below. Give us a subscribe. I think we're 1 off 100, which is cool. But yes, plenty of good stuff in there. Thanks so much for joining me this morning. I'll be back maybe later to talk about more Spurs. If not, keep an eye out for the community notes. I'll be putting some stuff up on there to keep you guys updated. Enjoy the rest of your mornings, everyone, and I'll speak to you real soon. Take care.